Welcome, Brian. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm fantastic. But boy, we got Brian, got technology cooperating. Brian's on the line now. So let me introduce everyone to Brian Walker, our newest Circle of Champions. We want to do a success story. Where are you calling in from tonight, Brian?
I am calling from Tinton Falls, New Jersey, in the central Jersey area.
All right, fantastic. And I want to thank you so much, Brian, for taking the time to join us tonight and sharing your experiences on your deal.
Oh, you're welcome.
And it says congratulations, Yvonne Sucich. That's not right. That's Brian Walker. So
Yvonne is a very handsome lady.
Yeah. But you can see Brian there. Brian is in Tinton Falls, New Jersey, and like I say, his newest Circle of Champion member. He purchased a duplex. I live in New Jersey. He just purchased a duplex in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, sight unseen. We're going to be talking to him about that, and it's a rehabber. It's a rehab project. And Brian, what I want to do, if it's okay with you, I've got just a few, handful of slides with some questions on it, just to kind of prompt our conversation tonight. But I'm going to ask you some questions. By all means, feel free to answer whichever ones you want to answer. Feel free to not answer any ones you don't want to answer, and feel free to add anything that I don't ask. That sound fair?
That sounds fair.
All right. So let's start here, Brian. We've got maybe we'll explain what's your background in real estate, what prompted you to get started with apartments in real estate, how long you've been involved, and what training have you received?
Okay. My background is, I guess I should just start with, I've been interested in real estate since I was very young. I actually work for an advertising agency, and I've been there almost 18 years, and, not that I don't enjoy what I do, but I'm bored to death. So I have recently just stepped up to the plate and really put on my big boy pants and decided I was going to, make some changes and go out here and be a go-getter and make some things happen for myself. So shortly after I, purchased Lance's course, and I had been thinking quite a bit about commercial real estate. Like I grew up in an apartment complex, and I can remember being a kid and thinking to myself, wow, it would be great to be collecting all the rent from all the units, in our complex. So that thought never left me. And shortly after purchasing Lance's course, it just really gave me the courage to try to, that was the biggest and best thing I could have done for myself. Just go out and do something. And after doing, I guess, I should start by saying I launched my business about 2 years ago, but hadn't really been active. And toward the very end of 2014, I decided I was really tired of being tired, and I was going to make something happen for myself. So after getting Lance's course, I mustered up the courage. I happened to find the deal at an auction site and did the best due diligence I could, being that I was in New Jersey and this was way in Wisconsin. Looked at comps, figured that at the price.
Well, Brian, let me hold you there. I'm going to lead into some of the deal. But let me ask this question. On your background, you said you decided to start. Would you say put on your big boy pants 2 years ago? I love that term. And have you done? Is this your first real estate transaction, or have you done some other deals?
This is not my first. We own a townhouse that we used to live in, and when the market turned down, we didn't like what was happening to the neighborhood in the townhouse development. So we decided that it was time to go. And the unit itself was underwater. We owed more on a mortgage than it was now worth. And shortly after the market got bad, FHA would not back any of the loans in the development anymore because it all of a sudden became a rental community. After 51% of the units were being rented as opposed to the owners living in them, it became a renter community and people couldn't get financing. So only investors were interested. Investors were lowballing. They moved in, and more and more of the units became rental units. So we decided that we were going to have to get out of there. And I, at that time, didn't really have any cash, didn't have an idea of where I was getting it from, but I did have a 401k, and I knew I had a decent piece of change in there. So I just started to put the feelers out to see if it would be possible to use my 401k to purchase a home, which shortly after I did. So the home that we currently live in, I found as a foreclosure, and at the time I ended up paying $225 for it, and it was worth about $325. So I figured I couldn't lose there. And that was my first creative real estate move, the home that we currently still live in.
But your own home. I got it. I understand. Okay. And now let's get a little bit more into the deal. Before I get into the deal, there's the property. There's that duplex, and this is the property that's in Milwaukee. Now, it doesn't look like it looks like it's in pretty, I know it's empty right now, isn't it? But it looks like it's in pretty decent shape.
Yes, it actually was in much better shape than I thought.
And looks like they got some plywood on the door, but there is a duplex. You guys have seen duplexes. So let's talk about the deal. So you talked about this a moment ago, but share with people how did you find the property? What was the situation with it? What was the opportunity that you saw, and then how did you pursue it?
I found the property. I am always looking for deals. So I happened to get an alert from in one of the auction sites that I'm constantly monitoring, and this was, I believe, auction.com. And I happened to come across the property, and it was cheap. Starting bid was only like $500. Now, that was hard for me to pass up at the time. I knew that I could afford $500. So I registered for the auction, and after an hour or so going back and forth bidding on the thing, I ended up winning that auction for just $5,300. $5,300 for a two-family house. Yeah, you heard me right.
How long is that auction process? How long did that go on?
The actual bidding on that probably an hour.
Okay. And so you're doing this all online. Have you ever seen the property? Have you even seen it yet?
No, I still have not been to Milwaukee to set foot in this property. No, and it is already being. Okay, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I said, how did you pick Milwaukee? It just happened to be the deal that came across your email?
It just happened to be a deal that was in my price range.
Okay. And all right, so now you've already talked. Let's talk about some of the numbers on this deal. So you had a purchase price of $5,300. There was no negotiation on this one. This was just online bidding. How was it? How did you finance it? How did you finance the purchase? If you don't mind my asking.
I had a little money left over from a home equity line that we had open. So again, I knew that it was something that I could afford, and that is what I used to purchase, which is still not my money technically. So,
that's right. Exactly
that's
right.
how it works.
Yeah, it's none of your own cash. It's nothing down purchase. All right, so you've got the property. You own this duplex. It's empty. Let's talk through some of the opportunities with it. So, what kind of rents? Of course, first you have to rehab it. So I'd like to ask what's it going to take to rehab it, and then once it's livable, what kind of rents do you think you can collect, and then what will be the value of the duplex once it's full?
Okay. The rent I could collect, it's around $700 per unit would be the upper end. Some rent as low as $550, but I am being assured by the management company, which is doing the rehab for me. Oh, by the way, the management company only cost me $100 a month to manage this property from across the country. So far as what I have put into it, I put an initial deposit on the rehab of $3,500. So we're talking with the winning the auction in closing costs, that came up to about $7,800. So for another $3,500, I have started the renovations on it, and I don't have a full scope of what the renovations are going to cost me yet. So I'm literally still in the thick of this. The low end of the comps say that this is worth about $55,000. That would be the lowest that a 4-bedroom, 2-bath duplex is selling for in the area, and this happens to be a good street in Milwaukee. So the upper end comps come in somewhere around $132,000.
Wow. What kind of rehab does it need? Is it mostly make ready, or has it got anything more substantial in it?
Yeah, I wish I had sent you those pictures. It has a little water damage, so I know I might have a minor roof issue. I have found out just last week that someone had stripped the water heaters out of it. Go figure. And those have just been installed. Need some new flooring, some paint, maybe refinishing a couple of the wood floors. It still has beautiful hardwood floors in it in pretty decent condition, just some discoloration. So I am expecting that the total rehab on it will be somewhere under $15,000, and so that would have me somewhere around $22,000, $23,000 into this thing total, and the least I would end up selling it for somewhere around $55,000, which isn't going to happen because once I get it rent ready, my exit strategy is if I don't have the traction that I want as far as people looking to purchase somewhere around 100, I will just put the renters in it, collect my $1,400 a month, season that, and consider owner financing it at somewhere around $100,000. Maybe do like a 50-50, deal. Hopefully, I find an investor with a decent amount of cash that would be willing to put half of that down, and he would have a cash flowing property, of about $1,400 a month for $50,000 down and financing the other $50,000.
Well, I love selling property under financing. That's a great idea. Here's another one to put into your hat of ideas. Is you could also sell it on owner financing to an owner-occupant, somebody who's going to live in one of the units and then rent the other one out.
Yes, that would be ideal, actually.
And if you now you got Dodd-Frank to be aware of, but you can do up to 3 transactions a year without worrying about Dodd-Frank. But you could sell to an investor with no restrictions. So, all right, that's super. So, all right, so that'd be a nice big cash play. So, all right, so now you got this apartment deal under your belt. So now, what's next for your business, Brian? What do you see happening next?
Right now, I am just looking for the next deal. That's where I'm at. I need the next deal. I have quite a bit of money tied up in this, and I need cash flow. So I'm off to the races, chasing the next.
What's the view of the future on this side of the deal as opposed to the view of the future before you did this deal? Has it changed?
Oh, man, like 2 different worlds altogether. I am pretty fearless now. I am not afraid to buy real estate anywhere in the United States right now. I, of course, want to avoid the worst of neighborhoods. But other than that, I'm ready to do business anywhere my computer will take me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, Brian, there's people on this webinar and people that will be listening to this afterward that have yet to do their first deal, kind of where you were just a couple months ago. So, from your heart, what is the single most important thing you learned in this process?
To just do it. That had stopped me for so long, just overthinking everything. I was constantly looking at all the things that can go wrong first, and it just froze me more often than not. But as soon as I got your course and I did something happened. Something really good, by the way. So all of my fears that were stopping me just held me back for years for absolutely nothing other than the fear itself. So that would be the most important thing I learned, that not only can I am, I am doing this, and it's going to happen over and over again until I stop.
Beautiful. Well, I love it. Just do it. Just do it. I can't say it any better than that. Just do it. And, well, Brian, I want to congratulate you again for getting this deal done and taking the action, taking the initiative, working through those fears. So congratulations. And I also want to thank you for sharing your story with everyone that's listening here tonight, everyone who's listening in the future. Thank you so much, Brian.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, Lance. It's been great. I'm still learning every day, and I appreciate your time and all you guys on the line listening. Just go and do something. Make it happen. It's possible. There are more deals out there than any of us can handle ourselves, and it's a great time to be in real estate.